but with
It looked
strangers.
like a public bus, but it was carting us to the game, and there was just this one fucking guy. He was just obnoxious. He was everything that makes me want to watch the game at home.
I hate Alabama because of him and his fucking loafers and his khakis, those Alabama khakis he had on, and he had those loafers that they wear. Like,
oh, dude, the loafers. The funniest thing ever is them trying to act like, you know, like they're these aristocrats. You know, also like that, the fucking TCU fans coming there in their dumbass blazers and shit. It's like, dude, nobody gives a fuck about TCU. This is the Harvard of Texas, is it? No one cares. I never heard of you guys. Horny toads. Come on, frogs. I fucking hated them. All those J.R. Ewing looking fucking jerk-offs. I like the SMU, Mustangs. I like Baylor, the Longhorns. I like Texas Tech. I like the Aggies. Those fucking cunts at the fucking the frogmen. Oh my god, they look like the douches in like a coming to age movie in the 80s. Like they were the frat with all the money. That's what they look like. I was like, oh my god, this is like, is Dangerfield gonna come here and do the triple Lindy?
The sweater, the tied sweater around the.
Dude, I mean, that's how they were dressed. I was like,
yeah, Bill, that was my first Rose Bowl, and it was TCU, and we sat in the sun, and it was a bunch of kids going like with their fingers down, TCU, and by like 5 minutes into the first quarter, Bill was just ripping on, and it was on everybody. Yeah.
Was I drunk that one? Because sometimes I didn't drink.
That was my first one. You were drunk.
I was drunk.
Yeah, you kept yelling TCU in a really annoying way right after them. So they'd go TCU, and then you'd go TCU, and you were just doing it.
Come on, frogs!
Yeah, man. I
got mad at them because they were supporting their team, and for some reason they were all dressed up like they were going to go on the Lawrence Welk show afterwards. Yeah. Lawrence Welk is a very old reference, but I'm telling you, it's right on. Just know that the closing song on that show is "Good Night, Sleep Tight, and Happy Dreams to You." It was the whitest show ever. There's a wish and a prayer for every dream to come true. And now till we meet again, adios, au revoir, I'll be the same. Good night. That's how white it was. Oh, and that's what they look like. They all look like, and then all these old people would come out, and they would be dancing around the fucking floor. Dude, this is how old the fucking fan base was for that show. The guy used to do a live read for Geritol. I don't know if you even remember it. It was like this multivitamin for fucking people that fought in the Civil War or some shit. It'd be old as shit, dude. All right, that's the numbers. This fucking orange fuck. I think it was this German guy. I don't know when he left Germany.
Geritol sounds like that old man cream you put on. I thought it was a cream from like the 50s.
It was a little jar of vitamins, and they would sell them to these old people. That this is back when we just knew nothing about nutrition or anything. Like, it was just like,
dude, you're bringing me back.
Yeah, dude, like
grandmother.
3 times a week. Didn't realize how difficult that was for you. Not that I don't love a steak, though. I tried the plant-based thing. I'm not doing that. I'm like, what do you got here? Older folks often have tired blood. Geritol.
That is the most non-medical way of saying anything. Nobody even knows
it's
that.
Snake oil. It's snake oil. Can the listeners see this? Can you have to talk, Andrew? They got to see this thing. The viewers here, I should say.
I'll drop it in. But
there it is. Geritol.
Tired blood
Paul?
Could be the way forward.
That should be our sponsor. Tired blood. Well, if for $20 off, anything better.
It's a good name for a special. Paul Verzi, Tired Blood. Take a look at who takes Geritol.
That's great.
Dude, Mike used to watch that every week, and we would watch Shana Na and the Wonderful World of Disney.
What years? What years was that?
This was like before you were born, dude. This was the early 70s, and it was such a fucking big deal. Yeah, there's Lawrence.
With Geritol.
With Geritol, there you go. It was such a big deal if a movie, like the ABC Sunday night movie of the week, you were like, oh my God, this isn't a TV show. This is a movie. And they're showing it on television. It was bananas. My parents, we would make popcorn. And I remember we had this yellow bowl full of popcorn, and we would sit there and watch these. No, I think when the Sunday night movie came on, that's when we had to go to bed, because it was more like an adult movie or whatever.
Oh, school night. Yeah, school night. But dude, you're bringing me back to when my yaya, for the people that don't know, I'm half Greek. Yaya is grandmother in Greek. Me and her would sit and watch Golden Girls, which, by the way, Golden Girls is one of, in my opinion, one of the most underrated sitcoms in history. The fucking B. Arthur, the chemistry
All
that
of
B.
them.
Arthur, Betty White, no, all of them. All
Dude, Joe DeRosa used to tell me forever how great that show is. And I'm like, Joe, you're just a counterculture fucking... I'm not sitting here watching these old broads. And then one day, I forget what I was doing. Dude. My last house, I was doing my taxes or something. And I was just, everything's just covered in fucking receipts and shit. So I couldn't find the remote. And they were playing a marathon.
Oh.
And dude, I was hooked by the third one that came on. I was kind of, yeah, this is all right. By the third one, I was just like, this fucking show is hilarious.
The sarcasm of B. Arthur and the dim-wittedness of Betty White, and then the other two. She would give me 2 cookies. She would give me 2 cookies in a napkin, and I would sit and I would fucking watch that with her. And my grandmother was, dude, like the thing about Greeks is they're very paranoid. They think everything great is Greek. Everything great is Greek. Anything. She could watch like Lionel Richie and be like, his hair. I'm telling you, there's some Greek. Like, that's how they are. They're delusional about pride, about how prideful they are. Giannis Papas, good friend of ours. I mean, the kid.
Giannis Papas has it times 2.
He's texted me.
It's Greek and New York.
Yeah, he's texted me out of nowhere and gone out of nowhere. And I would just look at the text and he would go, you understand your mother's 100% Greek, right? And I would go, yeah. He goes, how come you never, because he can't handle that my mom, see, here's the thing. My mother's 100% Greek, my father's 100% Sicilian, and my father's a character who thinks Sicilians are the greatest people, like Jesus Christ. So, my Greek grandmother and mother butted heads. My mother and my grandmother butted heads because my mother rebelled against the Greekness, because my mother was the oldest and not not the one, they were hard on her. So she was like, Greeks, nah, I'm rebelling against the Greeks.
So she watch that. You gotta watch it. You can't. They'll get their vengeance.
So she didn't put it on me, and my dad in the other ear is going, nah, I'm just Sicilian. I'm the father. You're Sicilian, and I had that. So that's why I'm more of like, people look at me and go at time, but I am half Greek, and my Greek grandmother was a character, and good genes, lived to 99. Well, your grandmother,
Greeks live forever, dude.
Yeah. Ever tell you what that Greek waiter said to me once? He comes over and he's like, yeah, everything's writing everything down. He goes, yeah, you put lemon with everything, you live longer. He goes, you're Greek though? He goes, yeah, even if you smoke and do bad stuff, 80s easy. As a matter of fact, he goes, do anything. True. He goes, do you smoke anything 80s? If you take care of yourself, forget it. It's like, all right, man, I'll get the lamb with the...
My great-grandmother was the oldest woman in Massachusetts. She was 109 or 110. They didn't have birth certificates. And
what?
She was fine swear to God, she was fine until she broke her hip at like 95. And then she was in a nursing home. But she was funny when we would visit. My earliest memory, like 4 years old, was in a nursing home. She would say in Greek to my mother, there's a lot of old people around here. And she was the oldest person around everywhere. That was her.
She probably meant mentally old.
Probably. I mean,
I meant that, yeah.
My grandmother.
Yo, breaking your hip was the old overdosing. If you broke your hip if you were in your fucking set, it was over. It was just it was done.
They didn't have a cast for it. How do you set a hip back then? Maybe they did. I don't know. My grandmother lived to be almost 105. Then I had a grandfather that lived into he almost lived to be 100.
Oh, Billy Good.
And I had another one that made it to 80 or 81. '81, I think he made it to, and then I forget how old my grandmother was. I never really knew her too well. The other one, I don't know what she lived to be. I want to say she was like early '80s.
You know what she would say to me though? She would go, "No cheese." This is what she lived to 99. She would go, "No cheese," and she would never drink. But when she would drink, it would be this much wine, and she would go, "No, very little, very little." And then she would take this little tiny, like almost like those orange juice things they give you in a diner. That would be her red wine at dinner, and she was so psyched that she was doing it because to her it was drinking. I mean, to me or you, it was like a gulp. She would just go, "Good luck." She would just say to everybody, "Good luck." And she was so psyched. And she would take a sip and put it down. But she said, "No cheese, no booze, don't eat a lot." She goes, "Oh, these fat people, they just keep eating. You don't need to. You don't need to."
No, you don't. Dude, every pound of fat is 5 miles of capillaries your heart has to pump. Every fucking time. You're given an extra 5-mile route, dude. That's why they say if even like 6 pounds overweight can really affect how long you live.
Speaking of health stuff,
I'm slicing vegetables, Paul. My tired going all over the counter.
speaking of health stuff, I got my first vaccination shot because I'm a employee of something where I was able to. In entertainment, the comedy club hooked it up and said, you know, my business is, these are my employees or whatever. So I was able to get a Moderna shot, the first one. Nice. And I'm online getting it, and all I'm thinking was, and don't make this political, you fucking assholes. This isn't political. I don't care. If people want to get vaccinated, great. If they don't feel comfortable getting vaccinated, great. I don't give a fuck. But I was like, you know what? I'm flying a lot. I got gigs coming up. I talked to my doctor. I trust my doctor. My doctor's like a friend of mine. And my doctor said, Paul, get any of the three. They're safe. Go do it. So I was like, all right, man, let me do it. I'll do it. You know, worst happens, you know, God forbid. What are you going to do? So I'm online. Yeah, if it's bad, what am I going to do? So I'm online, and I'm texting friends. I'm just going, hey, dude, you think it's smart? I'm just trying to
Why would you open it up to non-doctors? Why would you do that?
Dude, you know what I just read? So as the lady was doing, the lady was so nice. As she's doing it, I'm going, yeah, I'm gonna do this. No, like she was just like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm going like, listen, real quick though, before you put that thing, I go, do you having any allergic reactions in here? No, you're good. All right, let's do it. Up until
Tommy Hearns said when Marvin Hagler died, he put it out there. He got the vaccine, and that's why he died. And his wife flipped out. She goes, "It's not what the fuck happened. Don't say that."
Who?
Thomas the Hitman Hearns said when Marvin Hagler died. He said that's why he died. He got the vaccine. He's fighting the effects of it. I think he's into conspiracy theory or something. He put it on Marvin, and then his wife came in and said, "That's not what the fuck happened."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
This idea that they want to kill all the people is just like, you know, just think that through.
Yeah, that's what
Whoever gets it is gonna fucking die, right? Just think that through. Think of how many dead bodies there's gonna be. Think of the disease that's gonna bring, and then who's gonna fucking bury all of them? Rich people don't want to dig holes. That's what we're here for. They're gonna kill all the ditch diggers, and then what? Then they gotta bury us?
Yeah. No, listen, like I said before, if somebody, this is how I honestly feel about it. If somebody says, I'm just not comfortable taking the vaccine, I don't want to take it, that's fine. I'm all for that, man. Like, if you don't want that,
I don't give a fuck if you don't, but I don't want you fucking sitting here telling me that I shouldn't be listening to doctors.
Dude, my doctor's got OCD like me. My doctor's got, like, anxiety like me. My doctor's the fucking best, and he's the coolest. And I was like, Doc, what are we doing here? What are we?
These people back in the day, like when they cured polio, like they wouldn't take the shot, and then they'd walk around with one fucking baby leg and one big one. That's what they would do. I'm telling you, man, it's a conspiracy. Like hobbling down the fucking street.
One baby leg.
Yeah, like why would you do that?
No, babe. My doctor. There were years my doctor said you don't need the flu.
I getting a second opinion. This doctor says one thing, let me talk to another doctor. That's how you get a second opinion. You don't talk to a doctor and then talk to your friend who fucking, you know, is a fucking salesman.
Yeah. I loved it. Yeah, I got friends who, like, like 300 pounds. They smoke 2 packs a day. They're like, I don't know what's in it. Like, I can tell you what's not in it. The 114 chemicals you're putting in your fucking lungs. Take the shot, dick. But listen, I'm looking at it like this. If my doctor said, Paul, give it some time, let's see. I remember one year my doctor goes, you don't need the flu shot this year. Then one year my doctor goes, if you get the flu, it's going to be real bad, get the flu shot. Done. Whatever my doctor tells me, this guy has gotten me, you know, it's been pretty good up to this point. I'm going to do it, you know? I'm going to do it.
Dude, my favorite thing now, I'm seeing like people going like they're not wearing a mask. I got the vaccine. It's like they didn't say that you couldn't. What are you doing here? Like, you got to wait a minute. How do you know, like, they think like they got it. All right, I'm good. And they just got the first one. They even got the complete thing. They just got the first one. And now they're just walking around. And it's like, from what I understand, it's like the reason why you're supposed to finish all your medicine when they give you like what do they call those fucking things when you antibiotics. You want to finish the whole cycle that they give you because you want to the hoof. You want to kill the whole fucking thing off because if you kill 90% of it, it then they mutate and they build up a defense against what you're trying to use. So I would think that if you just get one and you just start walking around with no mask on, COVID's getting a jab rather than the fucking one and then the overhand right, and it doesn't know what happens and they're out. So that's what I would be worried about that with a
Dude, one of the greatest
Until they tell me, I don't give a fuck, I have the vaccine until they tell me, once they say it's okay to walk around without a mask, then I won't wear one. But I will tell you, for the rest of the time, anytime I have a cold or anything, I'll wear a mask. Because my daughter caught a cold at school. We were all worried that it was going to be like COVID or something. We all got tested. We were fine. But we wore masks just because we had them because of COVID. And for the first time ever, the cold didn't go through the house.
The one thing that I like about the mask is believe it or not, as much as it is harder to breathe, the airplane, I used to get sick off of airplanes. I used to come off and I used to, come home and I get sick. Now, since the flying that I've done with the mask, I don't get sick. But one of the greatest things was what the coach of, and I'm not even mad at her. I think it was hilarious. The head coach of the women's Oregon basketball team. She goes, listen, I don't think they should test during the Final Four.